All right, so got a much easier question on this one compared to the last one. We have a new definition, a new vocabulary word here, and that's work. So work is usually defined as force applied over some distance. So you're making something move by pushing on it, then you're doing work. Technically, not to be confused with effort. So you think effort, you're trying to do work, trying to make something move. But technically, physics definition, never actually do any work until something starts to slide. This force tied to Newton's second law, a lot of times this gets expanded, and force is mass times acceleration. So if we kind of plug that in, bring this all together, and sometimes I will refer to this as the MAD formula because mass times acceleration times distance, MAD, spells a familiar word. So just sort of a learning trick, a way to remember what the formula is. Nice thing here, like I said, very simple. We have more numbers to plug in. The units look really ugly, but this is actually not bad at all. So the mass is given in the question in kilograms, like we typically like the mass to be. The acceleration is given as well. So it has nothing directly to do with gravity, but happens to be, roughly similar, slightly smaller than the number for gravity. And then the distance here is apparently 18.17. Now, what's a little bit tricky here is that these units combine to make something that we haven't seen before. So notice that this says J, and J is for joules. Joules can be shown several different ways, but one of the main combinations for how joules are represented is newtons times meters. So if we think about that, kilograms and meters per second squared, that's the definition for newtons, right? And then the extra meters on the end actually ends up giving us exactly what we need. So there we have it. We get joules from this. I'll give you three guesses as to who discovered joules and came up with that in the first place. I imagine you only need one, but here we go. All right, so all these units combined just make J, and then if we run all those numbers through a calculator, they're all right next to each other in the formula, so it's all multiplication. We get 19,288.22.